Welcome back, everyone, to today's episode of Kean Round Robin. My name is Sean. Today, we will be learning a ton about what is going on in the world of technology and updates on how it is progressing. We also have an insightful interview with a student that goes to Kean University on how they think the pandemic has changed the landscape of learning both in person and online. Then we are going to wrap up the show with our Cougar on the Walk segment, in which we ask random students even more random questions. Let's get cracking, shall we? Our first story for today comes out of the metaverse and more specifically Microsoft. In Microsoft's attempt to win their battle with competitor Sony and their PlayStation, Microsoft has acquired game creator and publisher Activision Blizzard in astonishing $6.8 billion cash deal. This is a massive event within the game creation space, as the closest acquisition is that of talking to Interactive at $2.7 billion. It is truly crazy to think Microsoft spent half of their cash budget to acquire this company. Yes, you heard me correctly, half. So that means Microsoft, the makers of Xbox, still have over $6 billion in cash left to acquire more intellectual properties this year. Now, all we have to do is see what comes out from their end of the metaverse next. An interesting development in stock market is that of Facebook's parent company, Meta. It has been reported that Meta's stock, according to CNBC journalist Alex Shearman, had one of, if not the highest single-day stock drop in the stock market's history. Specifically, it fell a staggering $232 billion, which an estimation 26% drop from their current stock evaluation at that time. After this historic drop in the market value, Meta released a statement citing Apple's privacy policy changes were to blame. Meta cited a $10 billion revenue hit this year specifically due to those changes. However, Meta was not the only major tech company to suffer losses that day. Snapchat suffered a 23% drop, Pinterest suffered a 10% drop, and Twitter suffered a 5% stock drop, respectively. Interestingly, another company has also recently had issues with Apple's policies, and that company was Epic Games. Probably one of the biggest lawsuits was between companies Apple and Epic Games. The lawsuit came about due to Epic Games breaking Apple's developer terms of service by releasing an update within the mobile version of the video game Fortnite. This update allowed users to select which way they wanted to pay, either through Apple's App Store or through Epic Games themselves. So after seeing this, Apple decided that was not the best idea, pulled the game from their App Store. Following this, a lawsuit was filed by Epic Games inciting unfair pay splits due app developers on both the Apple and Google Play stores. It appeared that Epic Games would win this lawsuit with a heavy backing by the public opinion. However, the court ruled in the favor of Apple due to Epic Games breaking the terms and service, and Epic had to remove their game from the Apple Store, from the Apple App Store. That was until Nivea's GeForce experience allowed the game to be on their cloud network, therefore creating an open loophole to the court's ruling. Now, in the past year, there have been a major developments in the world of space technology, with two of the biggest developers coming out of the company SpaceX. This past year, the company finally managed to successfully land its Starship rocket. The Starship rocket was designed to be used in transport missions sending astronauts to and from places like the Moon and Mars. So with the rocket's completion, we can hopefully see missions starting no later than 2024. In addition to the Starship rocket, NASA also launched the first space helicopter. Now, it's just a regular helicopter, but it's technically in space. The mini helicopter was delivered to Mars in the Perseverance rover and took a mini test flight in which it successfully launched and landed itself within a little help from the scientists at NASA. It was also noted by NASA and SpaceX that the helicopter actually went up higher than intended due to Mars' low atmosphere. So it is only a matter of time before we can see flying cars on Mars, right? Recently, an attempt at restoring cellular service to many Ukrainians without it President Vladimir Zelensky turned to previously mentioned company SpaceX in hopes that They would send their Starlink internet terminals to the Ukraine in order for them to reestablish the crucial infrastructure system that was being slowly taken out by the Russian forces. Thankfully, SpaceX saw this post and jumped on the Save Ukraine initiative by sending over a rocket's worth of Starlink terminals to the president of Ukraine, which he kindly displayed on Twitter. Currently, the Starlink stations are still in effect, but have now been identified as a primary target by Russian ground troops. However, with the amount of support the world is showing the Ukraine, I do not believe we will see the terminal stop anytime soon. Now, for those of you who may not be caught up, there has been a massive supply shortage of both tech products as well as chips to run said tech products. Now, this issue started to pick up around the beginning of the pandemic in 2019 and was a full force problem by 2020 due to COVID's impact on getting products and made shipped across the country's companies like Nvidia and Microsoft and PlayStation were all affected more than others. This is due to one of their flagship products either releasing or being scheduled during the midst of the pandemic. So instead of doing what most companies did and delaying their products, they decided to release them online. This, along with the rise in the second selling of the products, resulted in the already low supply being reduced to a mere fraction. However, there is a good news coming out of the AMD when it comes to their end of the chip storage. The CEO of AMD, Lisa Su, said that the industry will be normalization and balanced by the middle of 2022, with a potential for overcapacity in 2023 as a lot larger scale capacity expansions begin to come online towards the end of 2022. So here is hoping that that she says is true and the online marketplace gets back to normal. Our final story is that Kean has finally opened their esports arena in the Green Lane building. The area is open to all Kean students and equipped with the top-of-the-line technology. It's actually quite cool, looking with the state-of-art computers, monitors, and overall amazing aesthetic. So if you are a Kean University student and interested in checking out the new arena on campus, it is located on the second floor on the Green Lane building. We hope to see you there. Now it is time for a brief public service announcement and then our second segment where we will sit down with a Kean University student and ask them questions and discuss how the pandemic has changed how we use technology in schools.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
We're helping our classmates.
Thank you. Aquí ayudamos a quienes les gusta comer postres ricos.
I'm helping my customers.
Sim, muito obrigado. Tchauzinho. Eu estou a fazer isto para ajudar a minha família, comunidade e amigos.
Hi, my name is Marconi Gathers, the Health Director for the Township of Kean. Getting vaccinated is the best way to ensure that we continue to help others in our community. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, and free. So please continue to help your community by getting vaccinated at one of our upcoming vaccination clinics. Remember, together we can help our community.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to Kean Round Robin. While you were watching that amazing public service announcement provided by Kean University, we had our guest arrive for our next segment called Talk the Talk, which is where myself and our week's guests talk and discuss a random subject. But first, why don't we have this week's guests introduce themselves?
Hello, my name is Joe, and thank you for having me on the show. I'm super happy to be here.
Today's discussion topic is how you believe the pandemic has changed how we learn in schools and what change you have seen because of it. So once you're ready, we can get right to them.
Yep, I'm ready to get started, so hit me with your best shot.
Okay, so the first question we have is gonna be on the simpler side. That question being, do you believe the pandemic hurt or improves your ability to gather online information for school? So that includes things like books, links, and notes for class. Another thing that would be used either for your classes or to improve your learning experience.
Well, I would definitely say that it improves some things, like I didn't know how to fully utilize Kean's online library before the pandemic. Before, I would just Google books and other things on either Google Scholar or search through articles until I found one that I thought I could use. However, classes were a bit difficult due to most professors struggling with the transition to a more online-focused system. But now I think they found a pretty good medium between the two.
Interesting. So you're saying that overall the pandemic helped increase your information gathering skills, but in terms of accessibility of information for classes, that was on the harder side. Did I understand that right?
Yeah, I would say that's basically it. It's a pretty broad question.
Well, I think you gave a great answer to that question. That leads us to our second question for you. How long would you say it took you for the professors to find what you would consider a good medium between the online learning of the pandemic and the in-class learning that we have before it and now? Also, do you think all the professors have fully utilized both aspects to their fullest, or do you find that some professors prefer more online-focused learning or in-class learning, and vice versa?
Honestly, I think it is a very hit or miss because everyone takes technology differently. But I would say at this point, most have gotten accustomed to using sites like Blackboard. Oh, and that applies to students too. I know some are still struggling with Blackboard and other online things. Now, as for your second question, I think some professors are more online resource leaning than others, but other professors still prefer it in person. It's really hard to determine because every professor is different and has different teaching styles, so it really depends.
Every teacher is different, that's for sure. Now, about what you said with Blackboard and teachers struggling with that, could you give us and the viewers some insight on what that is, how it's used, and what it's used for?
Well, Blackboard is a website that schools use to house stuff like tests, notes, quizzes, and other things like that. As for us students, we used it primarily as a place to get our notes from and take tests. It was pretty simple, but when set up correctly, but it seemed that some pages got messed up on Blackboard's end, and we just had to wait and have the people at Blackboard fix it.
About Blackboard, what would you say was handled the best and what was handled the worst, both then and now?
That's a good question. I would have to say that the aspect that was handled the best was probably just the overall use both then and now. It seems like a pretty simple formula with how to upload things and where to upload them. Thankfully, it went as smooth as you thought it would for the first semester we used it. Then after that, as people got more accustomed to using the website, it seemed to iron itself out. Now, as for what was the worst aspect, definitely the lack of knowledge with the program, because prior to that point, we had only really used Blackboard to house class notes and as a place to turn in our homework. So when the entire class basically had to be done online versus in person, it felt like it took everyone working together to get it to work properly. So I would say just the facts here, the aspect of how the entire thing was and handled versus giving the professors to fully learn the website was the worst.
Ah, okay. And I had a similar feeling with how everything was handled across the state. It was really fast, but what can you do, especially since we were not really prepared for an event quite that big? However, like you said, we are in a good spot right now, and that's what matters.
Yeah, that was the worst thing, was when the website would just glitch out. That was really annoying, but the same thing happened with Zoom because of the amount of people trying to use the program.
All right, here comes the final question. So Joe, now that most of the pandemic is basically over, do you think we should fully go back to how we were doing things before? So things like all tests in person and some assignments needing to be handled in by hand, or do you like where we are now, with some classes having things like quizzes and certain assignments being able to be turned in online?
I would love to have things the way they are, not because I don't like how things were. I just like the options that using sites like Blackboard more than we might have been in the past gives us. I know I have forgotten papers that I have had to hand in multiple times, but being able to turn them in online allows me to turn them in as soon as I finish, rather than wait until the day it's due in class. It just makes life easier, you know?
Speaking of things being easier, Joe, what about school being online? Would you say it would made it easier? Because personally, I found everything being online quite hard.
Just the lack of worry made it easier. Having everything all at once completely rather than waiting for us to get to portions of the class, I had the ability to work farther ahead than I normally would. So definitely being able to just relax and get my work done rather than going, okay, what are we learning today that goes with what I need to get done? It's just everything was available at the start. Yeah, I would definitely say that it made it more easy for me.
Well, I'm glad it made the entire ordeal not as stressful as it could have been. Well, that's all of the questions we have for now, Joe. It was amazing having you here.
It was amazing to be here.
Well, that concludes Talk the Talk. I hope you enjoyed it, and coming up after a brief PSA is our final segment, the Cougar Walk, where our field correspondent searches for random students to ask even weirder questions. So stay tuned, and we will see you right after this PSA plays.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Come on. Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there. Hi. I was just trying to get some chips. It's not gonna work, so we might as well do episode 5 of Kean Round Robin. I'm Michael. I'll be the host for today's episode. Today we're gonna be walking around campus asking people some general tech questions, hoping that we can get some correct answers. If we get some wrong ones, we can teach them a bit or two. And so, yeah, that's about it. Let's go do it. Hello, everyone. I'm here with
Anthony Spencer.
Patsy, Toxel, yeah.
Jade.
I am with
LaShonda.
Hello, everybody. I'm joined by my older brother. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone at home?
I'm Caden.
On Kean's campus, about how many game rooms do we have, not including the ones in the dorms?
I would say 1, since this is pretty much the only one that I know of.
3?
But it's excluding the dorm ones.
1? I don't know.
1.
1.
Technically 3. So this is 1. There's one in upper residence that's closed right now it was closed due to COVID, so maybe it opens up. And then the third one is esports. It's more for the esports people, but anyone can go in there, and this is all gaming.
That is the correct answer.
I'm actually a gamer manager. I should have mentioned that. So I do game and I don't know what that.
Well, we found the source, people. If you have any issues or need to talk to anybody, Patsy, that's your person. Have you ever had tech problems or issues on campus?
No, not so far. Maybe besides the Wi-Fi here and there. But other than that, pretty much everything is good.
Oh, all the time. On campus, all the time.
Well, I'm glad you haven't had that many issues. But for those students who might have more so, do you know who you'd get in contact with if you were having technological issues on campus?
No, not to my knowledge.
Yes, actually. I don't remember the name.
Well, that was actually my question. Do you know the name or even the acronym of the tech team on the campus? Do you know the name? It can be the acronym or just the full thing entirely.
No.
OSS?
OSIS, OSS, same difference. I'll take it.
I didn't even know Kate had that.
Well, hopefully now knowing this, it'll help you in future issues and events that you might be having on campus. It's OSIS. You just give them a quick Google and then pull up the number. Sure enough, you can call it. Yes. So this question is more in the space of gaming and stuff like that. But recently, there was some big tech buyouts that have been happening in the tech space. Do you know now what is the biggest tech acquisition of a gaming company?
To be honest with you, no.
No.
Okay. No. Can I guess though?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna say that China bought it, and I'm gonna say for like 20 mil.
No. It wasn't Epic, but I don't remember. I remember reading it. I don't remember who.
All right.
Oh, it was Microsoft.
It was Microsoft. You got it. Awesome. Now, do you know how much they acquired them for?
I would say about maybe 10 billion.
10 billion?
No, I don't know how much they brought it for.
All right. Well, we had someone off camera. She was in a previous episode.
Okay.
Whisper a billion.
It was something absurd, like $1 billion, something like that.
I'm gonna fix my stance here because my knees hurt.
I don't know.
All right.
I guess.
So this number might be a shock. It was a shock to me. Just about like $70 billion. Just that's about it. It's just spending money, you know. It's Microsoft.
If it's just spending money, can I have it?
I wish. All right, so we're gonna be looking for people over here. Never mind, they're doing something. We're going this way. So SpaceX recently launched their new like universal Wi-Fi and like connection system for like testing and stuff like that. They recently launched it over the Ukraine to like assist over there. Now, do you know what that system is called?
No.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't keep up with SpaceX, sorry.
No, I do not.
Well, it's called Starlink. It's pretty cool. Sounds like it's out of the new Buzz Lightyear movie, personally. That's what I'm thinking.
Is it called Starlink?
Yes, good job. That is correct. Nice. Could you name the 2 operating systems that most phones run on?
Oh, well, there is, I forgot the name of the brand of the phone. I think it was like a Windows phone too. And then you could like...
You are correct, you are correct.
From, the PC, Windows and the computer onto the phone. Yeah, but it's an Android phone, but it's called Windows specifically.
No.
Oh, I have no idea.
No.
All right, so Apple, you got iOS because they put an I in front of everything. I don't get it. Don't know why. Still don't.
Right.
Second, you got everybody else that runs on Android.
Right.
And then, like someone we interviewed earlier said, there was Windows for like 10 seconds, but then they stopped making phones. We don't talk about them no more. Final question. What are we using to record this audio? And then, what are we using to film you?
Well, we're using a smartphone to record the audio right now as of us talking.
That is correct.
And we're using, I believe, a Canon camera to film the video.
That is also correct.
I don't know.
All right, so we got a camera.
Oh, all right, camera on the phone. Sorry.
That's a Canon S something camera.
Okay.
And this is an Android because you don't like apples.
That would be correct and also very true.
Phone.
Okay, we'll take it.
Video's the camera, the audio's the phone.
That is correct. That's okay. You did a great job. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna go this way now. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Hey.
Have a good day. We're gonna go this way. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Stay safe, and I'm gonna go this way. It was nice. It was nice talking to you. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we're gonna just casually walk away. That was such a great time. Good job. Well, it's nice talking to you. I'm gonna casually scoot away. That's it. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we've run out of people. Found a lollipop though. It's really cold. The sun is not making it warm, but that's okay. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Kean Round Robin. I'm going to promptly head inside because my fingers are freezing. I'm very cold. Until next time, see ya. I'm going back inside.